Hey there, 8th graders, and welcome to today's Explainer. I am absolutely thrilled to be your guide as we tackle a pretty unique mountain together. Let's just jump right in, because today we're exploring something genuinely fascinating, the intersection of mathematics and morality. We're going to master the fundamental language of slope, but we're not just looking at lines on a graph. We're actually going to look at the direction of our own lives. By the end of our time together, you're going to be equipped with the math vocabulary to totally ace your algebra and the spiritual direction to make choices that really matter. Here's our quick blueprint for the journey today. First up, words of grace and clarity. Second, defining the math. Third, practice and application. Then fourth, the slope of your life. And finally, education requires morality. All right, let's get moving. Okay, section 1, words of grace and clarity. We're talking about math as a language here. Now, you might be wondering, why on earth are we talking about words and language in a math explainer? Well, here's the secret. Mathematics isn't just about crunching numbers. It's this incredibly profound language of logic. In the words we use, they matter immensely. Colossians 4:6 brilliantly illustrates our mindset for today. Let your conversation be always full of grace, seasoned with salt. See, whether we're just chatting with friends in the hallway or, explaining a complex math problem on the whiteboard, our words should be clear, confident, and wise. As believers, we're called to use our words with real purpose. Learning the specific language of math is actually a real-world practice in speaking with that exact clarity and grace. So our big idea for this section is simply this. The ability to talk clearly about math is literally just as important as solving it. Memorizing vocabulary isn't just some chore so you can pass the test. It's the essential tool that helps us explain our ideas, truly grasp the problems right in front of us, and communicate effectively. When you know the vocabulary, you build your confidence. Period. Moving right along to section 2, defining the math. Let's do a quick vocabulary review. Get those mental gears turning. We're jumping into a rapid-fire review of the core terms you absolutely need to master the geometry of lines. First up is the total star of the show, slope. Simply put, slope is the steepness of a line. Think of it like Baldwin Street down in New Zealand, literally the steepest road in the entire world. How sharply that hill rises right up in front of you, that intense leg-burning steepness, that is its slope. It's the essential measurement of any incline. Next up, rate of change. This is how one quantity changes compared to another. See, slope isn't just some static picture on a page. It is completely dynamic. It connects the math directly to real-world movement and progress. Like if you're driving a car, your speed, miles per hour, is a rate of change. It's tracking your distance changing compared to your time changing. Make sense? Now, let's break slope down into its 2 crucial ingredients. The first one is rise. Rise is the vertical change between 2 points. I like to think of it like riding an elevator in a building. You're only moving straight up or straight down along that y-axis. That up and down movement, that is your rise. The second ingredient is run. Run is the horizontal change between 2 points. So if rise is the elevator, run is walking flat down the hallway, left to right, along the x-axis. When we put those two together as a fraction, rise over run, we get our exact formula to calculate steepness. It's that simple. Now, what's genuinely cool is how a line actually behaves based on that math. There are 4 distinct directions a line can take. A positive slope goes uphill from left to right. A negative slope goes downhill. A 0 slope is totally flat, like walking on a perfectly level floor. There's 0 rise. And finally, an undefined slope. This is a perfectly vertical line, straight up and down. It has rise, sure, but absolutely 0 run. And since we literally can't divide by 0 in math, the slope is completely undefined. All right, you've got the vocabulary down, you know the definitions. Let's roll up our sleeves for section 3, practice and application. High energy here, folks, because seeing these concepts in action is where it all clicks. Applying this to a table straight out of your homework, we've got x-coordinates of 0 and 2 and corresponding y-coordinates of 3 and 7. Remember our formula? Right, rise over run. Our rise is the change in our y values. So going from 3 to 7, that's a jump of positive 4. Our run is the change in our x values. Going from 0 to 2 is a jump of positive 2. Okay, so our rise is 4 and our run is 2. 4 divided by 2 leaves us with a slope of 2. See how knowing the vocabulary immediately unlocked that solution? It's like a cheat code. Let's try tackling a real-world problem now. Imagine you have exactly $100 saved up over the course of 10 weeks. What's the rate of change? Well, our total change in quantity is $100, and our total time is 10 weeks. 100 divided by 10 equals 10. So your rate of change is $10 per week. Look at that, you're building wealth at a nice, steady, positive slope. Okay, we've mastered the math mechanics. We've conquered the graphs and the tables. But now, Section 4, the slope of your life. Let's slow things down just a bit and pivot from the math on our paper to the reality of our everyday walk. I really want you to ask yourself this question directly. What direction are you headed? See, in math, slope reminds us that every single coordinate, every tiny movement, has a direction and a result. Well, your life is exactly the same way. The daily choices you make, the words you use, the habits you form, they are all points on the graph of your life. So, are those points plotting a line that goes up or a line that goes down? When we follow Christ, we actively choose a positive slope. We're choosing a life that rises toward God's purpose. In every graph, every table, every line you encounter in class, let it be this awesome visual reminder to ask yourself, is my life pointing upward? Let your faith guide your steps upward, even when the path gets difficult, or, when the climb gets incredibly steep. A positive slope absolutely requires effort, but it takes you to higher ground. And that brings us to our final defining concept for today's explainer. Section 5, Education Requires Morality. This comes straight from the Godly Learners series, and it's truly the heartbeat of HeroesMart Academy. We tightly intertwine biblical morality with our education, and here's exactly why. Romans 8:6-7 gives us this incredible promise. It promises peace of mind to everyone who keeps their mind spiritual. When we engage our minds not just with cold facts and figures, but with deep spiritual truth, we experience genuine peace. Being educated isn't just about hoarding data, right? It's about cultivating the wisdom to use that knowledge correctly. Because ultimately, education without morality, it will hurt. Think about it. What's the point of being incredibly smart and highly educated if we just keep making bad choices that hurt ourselves and the people around us? A sharp mind without a moral compass is honestly a dangerous thing. But a sharp mind, guided by a positive spiritual slope, that is a mind that can absolutely change the world. So as you calculate your rise over run this week, keep your slope positive. I'll leave you with this one final thought to chew on. Are you merely getting smarter, or are you charting a course that truly rises?